Hello and welcome to Tech is for Everyone, the podcast series that deep dives into tech professionals' journeys using their experience to get you the best hints and tips to break into the world of tech. Just starting your career or looking to sidestep into a new industry or wanting to climb through the ranks, tune in and get ready to be inspired. Today I'm joined by Daniel Cox, Development Director at Flotilla. Dan and I chat about how to find your niche as a developer, managing and setting realistic expectations when dealing with stakeholders, the importance of staying on top of the latest tools and technologies, and a discussion on will ChatGPT replace our jobs?
Well, thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
Especially on such a cold wintry day. So do you want to maybe introduce yourself and who you are and where you come from, and then we can kind of dive into it?
So I'm Dan. Currently working at Flotilla. We provide sustainability solutions for businesses, help them achieve net zero status. I've been in IT right from I left college at 18, got into an IT career, so I've been doing that for, give away my age, about 18 years now. Still going strong, and really my career has been all around software development. And then I guess in the last 10 years that's kind of moved into leadership roles with software development. And that's what I'm currently at, really.
Yeah. So what does technology mean to you?
For me, it's all about innovation and efficiency. So if you look back throughout time, there's been loads of examples of where technology's come in across all different sectors that have really revolutionised where we are today. And really, for me, I always see that as my key role within any organisation is to drive innovation and technology, efficiency gains within the business, so that we can be more productive and get more bang for our buck, if you like.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the brilliant thing about tech is it's almost like constant innovation. There's always something new, isn't there? Like, it's not just a case of, great, we've done this great piece of innovation and then stand still. It's almost like not resting on your laurels. It's like, great, we've done that, but what's the next thing?
Yeah, it's exactly that. There's always new stuff coming out all the time. It's trying to keep up to date is the challenge, I guess, with that. But it provides great opportunities and good challenges, and it gives people that work for yourself and myself a chance to really try and do something different and get ahead of the game and beat our competitors because we've got there first, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, there's enough free stuff out there as well, isn't there, to kind of be able to, you don't need, I guess, like mega deep pockets to go and buy like an Oracle system or whatever it is.
And that's an area that's really expanded over time is the open source market and all that free software you can get. There's so many tools out there, and even like free online training resources out there these days to get you into tech and learn how to use these new technologies and adopt them. There's more resource out there than there's ever been. I think about 20 years ago, things were to what they are now. We're in a lucky place.
So did you always want to work in tech and in dev?
I think so. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have an older brother who I looked up to start. He had a career in IT. I could see the quality of life that it was giving him. Coming home in nice cars and going out lots and stuff. I thought, fancy a piece of that. And luckily, like having computers at home and things and learning and knowing that if I made a mistake, I could always count on him to fix it.
Yeah.
It kind of like got me into IT, and then I decided to do it at school at A level, and then found that I enjoyed it as well. So it kind of just naturally flowed. And I think the other thing with having that older brother is I saw that he didn't go to university, but he was successful. I thought I could start a career in this right now without having to go to university if I don't want to. The option's there, but it's nothing stopping me from taking some route to what he did. So that's how I got into it.
Was it always kind of dev that you had in mind, or was it just I want a career in IT?
Not initially when I was at college. I kind of like towards the end of my A levels, we got sent out some job adverts, and I applied for one with a week left to go, and it happened to be in a more software role.
Right.
But actually, during my A level course, my strengths would probably be in other areas of IT, probably more on the networking and software originally, but it was just what was available, the opportunities available at the time, and actually getting into it and starting there. And being fortunate enough to work for a manager who was really good and supportive, that's how I fell into software development and enjoyed it and thought, let's keep going. what I like to do.
Do you still like to sort of unplug stuff and put cables back in, or have you lost that passion now?
I don't do it much. I mean, as a leaving present on my previous roles, I got given a Raspberry Pi, which I played with a little bit. But typically with stuff being in the cloud now, there's less need to unplug and plug stuff in anyway. It's
It's a dying art.
Yeah, exactly.
Raspberry Pis are interesting. I think it's Premier Farnell who sort of first started making them years ago. They came out 10, 12 years ago maybe, when I was doing a bit of recruitment for them way back in a previous life. And I think the idea was, and I don't know if they still do, my kids haven't got to that age yet, where they were kind of almost giving them to schools to try and help then the kids get into coding, and they could plug them in, and almost sort of build a piece of software themselves by using the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, that's right. There's something called BBC Microbit, which is like a much more basic version of Raspberry Pi that's designed for kids to get them into coding and stuff. That's pretty cool. And when I did a master's degree a few years ago, and we were doing Internet of Things on Arduinos, so I really enjoyed that, making like burglar alarms, and it was actually linked to Flotilla. I was doing measuring like gas in the atmosphere. Using air quality monitoring. It's all fun. Quite enjoyed that. But don't get much opportunity to do it in the workplace. It's more software and leadership.
Yeah, it's just a project of passion almost
exactly.
than anything else. You're in this role now where you obviously kind of, I guess, like you say, leadership as well as dev. What's kind of like the one thing about either your role now or the roles that you've been doing that you didn't expect?
I think it's tied into what we were saying before, really, is the rapid rate of change in technology and how fast new technologies are coming out. It's like you feel like you've just upgraded, for example, to a version of .NET and got your head around that, and then before you know it, like another version has come out. So I think going back 20 years ago, I didn't expect that and didn't realise that was going to be the case. And like we said before, it's presented challenges, but it's also presented us a lot of opportunities as well. And I guess a challenge for new devs now is how you keep up to date with that. How do you keep on top of what's coming out? And with so many things coming out as well, it's hard to know which ones are gonna be the ones to go for and going to take off. So that's where you've got to kind of be clever in your decision making. And with so many technologies coming out, it's very easy to do bits of all of them. But my advice would be try and quickly find out niches and areas that you fall into that you like, and technologies that suit you, and trying to stick with those specific things and be really good at fewer things and be okay at lots of different things.
No, it makes sense. I remember a while ago, and again, sort of show my age, everyone was on maybe like an Oracle or a SQL Server sort of database or data warehouse as they sort of grew bigger and bigger. And then Hadoop came along, and everyone was like, right, big data, Hadoop's going to be the next thing. I don't remember seeing that, sort of in the last 5 or 6 years at all, so you can quite easily sort of go down the wrong path. The wrong path is the wrong word, but, follow a technology that actually you think is going to be huge, and it never really gets off the ground.
Exactly, I think sometimes you've got to give it a chance to see what happens with it in the market, and don't be too bleeding edge. Give it a chance to settle down and see, is this getting a following? Is it getting a good uptake? Are people actually using it? Are job roles becoming available in that technology? And that's maybe the point that you can start to say, okay, maybe this is something I need to look at, rather than being too far ahead. It's a balance, really. In
terms of your career, then, so what's sort of the most important lesson that you've learned?
I think it's more once I got into leadership, and it's stakeholder management, really, and being able to set expectations. All I think about is the worst thing you can do is promise something to somebody and then not deliver on time. No one likes that. So it's about trying to give realistic expectations, and at times I think with really good customer service, treating everybody like a customer and trying to do the best customer service job you can do on everybody. So as well as setting an expectation, giving regular updates on the progress and where you're at, and keeping them informed, trying to stitch your promises as much as possible.
I mean, I think especially when you're starting out as well, obviously you've learned that, I guess, in the the position that you've got to in your role now, but if you can kind of nail that down right at the start, then you're off to a win, aren't you?
You can, and you can do it right from the start, even with your line manager, saying to you how long it's going to take you to do that piece of development. Trying to get good at your estimations is a tricky skill to manage, especially in the development world where from nowhere you can encounter a problem that you can waste time on. So it's a hard thing to master, but I think it's something that comes with time and experience. You'll get better at that as you go throughout your career.
And I guess there's almost the ambition at the start of your career is to try and deliver things faster and almost underestimate how long it's going to take you then.
Yeah, there is that. I think sometimes you can get into a state of just trying to please and think, the manager's asked for time scale, like I'm going to try and make him happy and give him the answer he wants and say like a day, and actually I'm probably thinking it's going to take me more than that. And try not to fall into that trap. I think your manager will appreciate it a lot more if you be realistic with him and tell him the reasons why it's going to take as long as you think it's going to take, and then deliver to that promise. Then make the mistake of appeasing him and saying, "Oh, it's only going to take me this time," and then failing. Like, you'll get on a lot better if you justify well your timings and stuff, and that way they accept it, and you'll be in a good place.
Yeah, it's definitely better to sort of under-promise, over-deliver, isn't it? Even if you think 2 days, do it in a day and a half, and then you've got time in the bank.
A colleague once told me when I was starting off, like, whatever estimate you think it should be, double it. And then perhaps add another half, and then you'll probably be in a good place from that. So, it's a general rule of thumb to start with. Obviously, as like I said, once you get more experience and you get used to how fast you can do stuff, you can then hone that down and provide more realistic expectations.
It's almost like a builder's estimate of time, isn't it? It's going to take me 8 weeks to build this extension, and then 16 weeks later, they're still knocking up a brick wall somewhere.
Exactly, it's just those unknowns and gotchas that you need to be careful about that. Not everything goes smoothly.
So, in your opinion, then, what's kind of the most important sort of traits or strengths that you need to have to sort of make a good developer?
I would say, I had a few. I think for me, the most important skill or trait I look for in someone is attention to detail. I think that's something I'm finding harder to come by these days, and I think that can really set you apart from other candidates and from your colleagues. And it's attention to detail across the board. So it's how well you listen to people, how well you communicate, how well you write your code, and even like little things like if you're building a front end, your attention to detail where your inputs are placed and how you've designed your screen. If you can see that something's out of alignment, make it aligned. Don't leave it as it is, because that combined helps drive quality. And it ensures right from the get-go that you're going to do the best you can do. Because you've had that attention to detail. It means people don't have to repeat themselves if they've explained something to you because you've listened well. You've taken down what they've said. So I guess for me, that's the most important trait.
There's, obviously it's a more recent thing, but do you think like sort of AI and ChatGPT and stuff like that, has that kind of played a part, do you think, or will it play a part in kind of people's attention to detail? Because maybe laziness kicks in and it's just a copy-paste from something.
Possibly. It's a hard one to sort of predict that, but like you say, it could be that if you are using tools like those, it's really important to take the time to analyse. If you've asked it to generate some code, what that code is doing, test that code is doing what you expect it to be doing, and really understand it, so you know for next time. And so you can justify to your peers or whatever if you get a code review on it, why you did it the way you did, and not just say, "Oh, ChatGPT gave it to me."
It's great, sort of the things that some of these AI tools can do, and I think some of it, obviously, the big question I get asked a lot is like, will it replace jobs and things like that? And I guess maybe there are some jobs that it could replace certain elements, but I'm still sort of one of the people that hand on heart sort of say, well, you can't account for the human element of a job. So yes, you could get AI to write you some code, but actually you need someone to check that code. You need to make sure it's right and it's put in the right place. And actually, even if the code is great, is the outcome over here all the way down the path going to be what you want it to be? And I just don't think you can't account for that with AI. It's got to have some form of human element. I think it will just evolve roles rather than completely take over.
I think so. I think it would be prudent of people to make use of it now to try and make them go faster and be a bit more efficient. But as you said, it's not something that can be fully relied on at the moment. There's no guarantee that it's going to give you the correct answer. You've got to always keep that in the back of your mind when you're using it. Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. I don't see it getting rid of jobs right now. I think what it will help is potentially set you apart from other people. Though, if you get good at using it, it should help increase your productivity.
Yeah.
If used in the right way.
Yeah. So, do you have like I don't know, like a sort of favourite productivity hack?
I've got a couple, yeah, and it ties back into GPT. So, piece of advice I was given when I started my career, or two pieces of advice were: first one, get really good at using Google, and
Right.
the second one was learn how to use keyboard shortcuts.
Right.
I think those two things combined really helped me be a fast developer. So I was quickly able to find the answers to problems I had because I was good at Googling stuff and getting the results back that I needed quickly. But also I was quick to code because I was making use of keyboard shortcuts to make my life more efficient when I was coding. I would say nowadays that first one I'm using Google is kind of, in the modern world, has moved over to a bit like we're saying with ChatGPT, and it's getting good at using ChatGPT. I guess the output is certainly as good as the input. So, if you ask it a rubbish question, you probably get a rubbish answer. So, try and get good at instructing it in the right way and setting the context of what you want to ask it.
Yeah.
And then, as we said before, it's just being careful over the answer, like making sure you take time to understand the answer that's given you, validate that it's right, and test that it's right as well, really. I think if you get good at using AI and tools like ChatGPT in the right way, then, as I said before, it can help you be more productive.
So, I mean, other than ChatGPT, then, are there any sort of other tools that are kind of really important to what you do?
I think for me, leading a team and working in an agile way, I think we'd be pretty lost without Azure DevOps. There are other tools out there, such as but I think I look back at the time before things like Azure DevOps were around. We set the Foundation server, and before that, and it was quite chaotic. There was a lot of people making notes and things in like OneNote and trying to manage workloads in that way. I think I love how it just, everybody's singing from the same hymn sheet with it. Everybody knows what the crack is, what the priorities or work items are, and I can use it to feed into upper management on how we do it with things as well. So I think it's probably a tool that might not get spoken about much. It might be a bit underrated, but I think we'd be quite lost without it if it was to go.
Sounds like I need to upgrade my OneNote then to a version of that.
It's like any project management tool, really, like Monday.com and all the ones out there.
Yeah.
It's just really useful for tech teams because you've got the sprint management tied in with the source control as well, and the CI/CD.
Is it? So you mentioned a lot about sort of like testing of code and bits like that. Are you doing kind of, I guess, continuous testing as you're deploying? It is agile. It's not traditional waterfall, wait till the end and then test it.
Yeah, that's the idea. Is try and deliver lots of things very frequently, and you've obviously got to keeping quality high. So where possible, write unit tests, write automation tests, make sure that they're being run as part of your CI/CD pipelines. It's about, for me, I'm a big believer in DevOps and the culture of DevOps and shifting left and failing fast. So if you're going to find a problem, make sure it happens early on in the chain, not when you get to production, essentially. So I think building those automation tests and doing that is only going to serve you in good stead.
So if you can think way back when to when you first started out in your career, what's the one piece of advice that either you would give someone or you wish sort of someone had given you?
I would say don't be afraid. I think be brave. When you're asked to do some work and develop solutions, don't be scared to break something. 99% of the time, if you break something, it can be fixed in IT. And if it can't be fixed, then you've probably highlighted a problem with process and procedure in your organisation.
Right. Okay.
Just don't be scared to dive in, try stuff out. That's how I taught myself and how I learned. It's just by getting stuck in, trying things, failing, learning from failure, and repeating that process over and over again. Try things out and don't be scared to ask for help as well. You're working in an organisation where you've got other colleagues around you, making use of their expertise. Don't sit in a corner on your own and struggle. Speak up if you need help.
I guess half the job is problem solving, right? It's not necessarily all just creation and sort of starting things from scratch. It's that, like you say, there are bumps along the way, and you need to sort of go away and try and solve whatever it is. So someone's got to break something to be able to do that. I guess that part of the job, don't they? So
exactly that. It's just, I think, as I said before, it can always be fixed. So take a risk sometimes, try stuff out. Sometimes it's good to take risks. And I think in DevOps culture as well, it's rewarding failure is celebrating failure. Sorry, is something that's done, and I think that helps drive a good culture and a good team ethic as well amongst the organisation and the team that you're working in.
Yeah, it's like continuous learning as well, isn't it? Talk about continuous integration, continuous deployment. It's continuous learning as well, and you don't learn if you don't fail first. I guess you almost learn more, I guess, from breaking something than you do if everything just goes plain sailing all the time. How are you ever going to know what to do differently if you need to?
Exactly that. You need things to go wrong to learn and improve.
Yeah. So, what's the one question that you wish I'd have asked you, and how would you have answered?
I'm not sure I wished you asked me it, but I'd say, how do you stay motivated? And I think for me, I find that quite easy. I'm doing a job that I love doing, and it comes with a lot of satisfaction. When you've been working hard on something and you finally get it over the line, and then you see it being used by customers, and you see like the efficiency gains or how it's won you business, and positive feedback you're getting. I think that's what really motivates me. I would say that if you're not doing a job that you love doing, and you're not getting the motivation to change something or try something new, because you only succeed and become the best in your career if you're enjoying it and you're motivated.
Yeah, I definitely should have asked you that one. That's a good question, a good answer. It is almost that, isn't it? It's not necessarily find a job that you love doing, but it doesn't feel like a job when you're doing something that you love.
Yes.
That whole sort of approach to it.
Yeah, you're in a good place if you wake up in the morning and you actually don't mind going to work, or you look forward to going to work. So it's hard to find, and it's not like it's something that can come easily and naturally to people, but persevere and keep doing it. And I think what can help with that is working somewhere with really good people. I think it's really important, especially in your early stage of your career, if you find a really good manager, one that's really supportive and really progresses you, that working for good people will really accelerate your career.
I guess working in the industry and the business that you are at the minute as well, you've got that whole, you're genuinely making the world a better, healthier place, aren't you? So it's a nice industry to be in that is going to be more rewarding naturally because of what you're doing.
Exactly that. Tech for good is a kind of booming industry, and people are starting to think, I don't just want to code or work for someone for the sake of working something. I want to get purpose and meaning out of what I do as well. So to know that you're building something or helping an organisation that's doing something for good, whether that's the environment or educating people or whatever, that definitely helps drive motivation and your kind of reason to get out of bed in the morning and do a good job.
Yeah, either that or the kids that scream and wake you up. There's also that element as well.
Yes, I was going to say that.
Great. No, well, look, thank you for coming in. Really appreciate your time. Some great advice there as well. So, I'm sure people will take a lot from it.
Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Thank you for listening to Tech is for Everyone. If you're looking to start your career in tech or want to know more about how our academy can help grow and diversify your teams, then find us on LinkedIn, Instagram, or via the Qualcomm Tech Academy website. Links can be found in the description. Look forward to having you join us on the next episode.